Well, this is a long overdue video. Why didn't I make it sooner? Well, simply put, I've been gaming. I've been gaming with these two consoles and with a shit ton of other games. Probably at least a good 60 of them for the past, I don't know, like 5 months or so. Anyways, or 4, rather. I don't know, whatever. In this video, in this gaming pickups, we are going to focus on the two systems that I've had for, well, ever since June. Why the fuck is it only like August 14th now that I'm talking about them? Anyways, we're going to be talking about both the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Start off with the Switch, shall we? I think I'll start off with the fact that, well, hey, birth of another Nintendo console. Trying to make up for the disappointment that was the Wii U, and, you know, hey, I mean, look, I love the Wii U in the sense that, like, you know, of all the great times I had with it, because I put over 900 fucking hours into my Wii U ever since December of 2013. Okay? But even so, it wasn't successful, and it really disappointed a lot of people. But, hey, this has definitely gotten people talking a lot more about the Wii than, you know, compared to the Wii U. And, again, the birth of another Nintendo system. I mean, even though, sure, I was born before the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance and the DS, really the only systems that I came, like, even close to being excited for and, you know, being aware of were, you know, the 3DS and the Wii U, and, of course, this. So, yeah. And of course, hey, it's just always, I guess, nice to see another system in general. Now, of course, I was going to get one of these, you know. Of course I was going to, you know, Nintendo fan and whatnot. It was obvious. Now, I wasn't going to get it at launch, though. And, well, the basic story goes is that I was planning to get this in June, which I did. But, of course, given how this thing is, you know, fucking impossible to find, I didn't have any faith that I was going to get one. I had 0% faith, is what I'm trying to say. Fucking zero faith, nothing. And that's not being all doom and gloom or, you know, pessimistic or anything. That's like being realistic, which is unfortunate, but hey, you know, that's just how it is. However, there was a silver lining. I have a friend, his name's Brian, who works at Walmart. And he was actually, you know, he was telling me that, hey, next time a Switch comes into the store, or if I can find a Switch for you, you know, because he actually got the Switch at a different Walmart. But anyways, basically he said next time a Switch comes in, or if I see a Switch, I'll get one for you. And, well, that's basically what it ended up to. He got the Switch one day, you know, we talked over this on the phone and whatnot, through messages and all that, and, well, yeah, a few days later, he came back to where, you know, he lived and whatnot. We met up at some place. I gave him the money, and I got the Switch, so it worked out pretty well, actually. Except he actually, although I mentioned this already, but he got it at a different Walmart, not the one he worked at. One thing I'll mention before I talk about the games is that, you know, like, of course there was lots of speculation, you know, in February of 2017 and January of 2017 when this, you know, was just a few months away and all that, or in February's case, a few weeks away. And, you know, there were people saying, like, oh, it'll be $250, that'll be a fantastic price. And, well, hey, it was $300 US, 400 Canadian, which just shows how fucking awful the Canadian dollar is, to pay $400 fucking dollars for this fucking thing. Because of how shit the dollar is, this was $400. What the fuck? But whatever. So for a while, I knew what the first game I was going to get for the Switch was going to be. It was going to be this, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Now, if you know anything about Puyo Puyo Tetris, this game actually first came out on, well, many systems, the Wii U, PS4, Xbox One, PS3, I think also maybe the 3DS and the Vita. But yeah, just about everything back in like April of 2014, but only in Japan. It was only now until this year that Sega was like, hey, let's localize this. So they brought it over on the PlayStation 4 and, well, the Switch. And considering, how the Switch is new for 2017, like, it's hard to consider this. Is this really a 2017 release? Now, normally I would say no, because it was obviously a 2014 release. But what about the Switch version? This was a 2017 release worldwide. But isn't it just the same thing as the, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Wii U versions? But yeah, it came out 3 years ago. And for a little bit, I was actually considering on importing the PlayStation 3 version, to finally get a Japanese PS3 game. And, well, in all honesty, I'm kind of glad I didn't. And that's not just because, hey, I needed something for the Switch, but also, actually, you know what, I'll put the box down. The box literally is just here just to hold this, like, keychain thing that has, Puyo Puyo and a Tetramino. I'll actually hold up the game. And that's not just for the sake of, getting, one Switch game, because for a while this was my only Switch game. It's also because, like, the story mode, to understand the mission objectives, you obviously need to, would read them. And if they're in Japanese, you're kind of shit out of luck. You wouldn't know what the objectives in the story is. Or even what the story is. Sorry. And honestly, like, I'm glad I, didn't get the PS3 version, because, it's fun actually watching the cutscenes. I think they're pretty nice and well written. And, hey, it's cool to see some of these characters, in some sort of localized fashion. I mean, of course, there's, good old Arl, which, she was essentially the main mascot, the main protagonist of all of Puyo Puyo. But, there's, of course, characters that are more recent to Puyo Puyo, like, Ringo and Amity and whatnot, characters like that. But, of course, there's the OGs, like Arl and, Shizo, whatever the fuck his name was. And also Draco Centaurez. Again, I don't remember these names entirely, but because of the fact that, like, it's almost kind of surreal, because of course I've seen some of these characters because of how much I played Puyo Puyo Sun 64. To see them now here in the West in English and all that, it's something. So that's another reason why I'm glad I waited. I've been mainly playing through the story mode and whatnot. I haven't really done much multiplayer. Of course, as we know, combines Puyo Puyo with Tetris. You can play either Puyo Puyo or Tetris, or you can do like a fusion mode, a very interesting sort of deal. And it's the mission mode is, of course, various goals, like, clear 30,000 points in like 30 seconds, or, just simply beat another character. Like, you'll be playing Puyo Puyo and your opponent will be playing Tetris, all sorts of things like that. And it's been entertaining for sure. But it's not, of course, like, oh my god, this is what the Switch is all about sort of deal, is what I'm trying to say. But the fact that it's on the Switch is cool, because this is definitely a game you would probably want to play portably, even though I really don't play the Switch portably all that much. I mainly play it via the TV. Though I have played it portably a little bit here and there. I'm sure we all have at some point, especially considering the market for portable devices, with phones, and how the 3DS is doing, and how the Vita is seeing some sort of success, because it's still getting games, even though Sony doesn't give a shit about the Vita anymore. This is definitely a good handheld game in that sort of regard, too. And if you haven't played Puyo Puyo or Tetris in a while, or you're looking for a fun version of it to play with friends or spend some time with, I think that you can, you'll go really right with this game for sure. Then there's this game, the only other Switch game I have, which I picked up pretty recently. It was actually the first game I got in August. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, of course, again, I was going to get this, but of course I was a little hesitant. For one thing I should mention, I never say no to a Mario game, because I know it's going to end up in my collection at some point, so I never say no to a Mario game. Even stupid ones like fucking Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS. Now, again, when the Nintendo Switch was first shown off, in the reveal trailer and whatnot, we of course see a clip of, these people playing Mario Kart 8 in, they're in the car or whatnot. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh my fucking god, are they really just gonna port Mario Kart 8 over to the Switch? All these fucking Wii U ports and whatnot to the Switch? I'm not gonna get too much into Wii U ports for the Switch, but, in the case of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's interesting. For one thing, like, of course, I'll get to the battle mode. Well, ooh, spoiler, woo. Of course, there's new characters. There's Dry Bones, King Boo, Bowser Jr., Inkling Boy, and Inkling Girl from Splatoon, and Gold Mario. And, I tell you, in more recent years of Mario Kart 8, it really occurred to me how odd the roster is. Of course, everybody mentions how there's, like, fucking stupid characters like Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach, and, of course, fucking stupid Pink Gold Peach, and how there's, baby versions of so many characters and whatnot. So it's like, well, it is cool to have, Bowser Jr., Dry Bones, and especially King Boo. Here's the obvious question. Where the fuck are other essentials? Like, why isn't Birdo in this? Or Diddy Kong? Or, fucking, I don't know. What about Funky Kong? Sure, he was OP in Mario Kart Wii, but that doesn't mean you can't put him in here, work him in somehow. Or, like, how about Petey Piranha? Fuck, Petey Piranha's only ever appeared in Mario Kart Double Dash. Or, hell, why not Magic Koopa? Magic Koopa was in the beta of Mario Kart 64 and has never appeared in a Mario Kart ever. It's just, again, you really couldn't have added, like, more, especially Birdo. That one just baffles me the most. Now, not that Birdo's, like, one of my favorite Mario characters. Birdo's a cool character and all, but that's just so mind-blowing. Really, out of all the characters, you missed that one? I mean, hey, it's great Toadette's in here, Why wasn't Toadette in Mario Kart 7? Why wasn't Waluigi in Mario Kart 7? There's also 2 new items. For one thing, you can actually hold 2 items at a time now. And there's, of course, a Boo and a Feather item, though I think the Feather item's only for Battle Mode, and that leads me to my next point. Battle Mode. Now, of course, Battle Mode in the original Mario Kart 8 was stupid. There was clearly no thought process with that, and it was gimped horribly, which didn't make any fucking sense, because besides that, Mario Kart 8 was fantastic. I love Mario Kart 8. It's something I still play a lot to this day, But, of course, I was a little hesitant to get this, because it's like, I still play Mario Kart 8 on my Wii U plenty of times. Do I really want to get this right away? Well, I did, because, hey, gotta own all the Mario Karts. But, there's a new and improved battle mode, so that's definitely, I guess, really the biggest selling point. And the fact that all the DLC is on here. And I remember when the DLC came out, that was, surprising. Of course, there was, cool courses like Excite Bike Arena and, Ice Ice Outpost. But then there was, of course, surprises like, holy shit, Cheese Land from Mario Kart Super Circuit is on here. Fucking, Ribbon Road also from Mario Kart Super Circuit is on here. Holy crap, that's, that's interesting. So it's nice that the DLC is now forever part of the game. But the thing is, there's no new courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is... Look, Mario Kart 8 already has lots of courses. It has, like, 48 courses? A shit ton of courses. But, like, for what you're paying for, would it be really asking too much just to put a little more in there? Like, there's so many opportunities. You could put Vanilla Lake or, Choco Island from the original, Mario Kart. You could put, like, Bowser Castle 4, Sunset Wilds, Riverside Park, Sky Garden, from... Mario Kart Super Circuit. You could put Wario Coliseum. You could put Mushroom City from, Double Dash. You could put Toad's Factory or Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii. You could put Daisy Hills from Mario Kart 7. You could put Shroom Ridge Shroom Ridge from Mario Kart DS. Like, there's so many, like, fucking, or like Rosalina's Ice World from Mario Kart 7. There's so many, like, things missing out that you could potentially throw into this. But, hey, it sells anyways, because Mario Kart sells a shit ton of, copies almost every time, pretty much, so, whatever, hey, and I bought it, because, gotta get all the Mario Karts and all the Mario games. And I tell you, I remember when Mario Kart 8 first came out, that was the shit. I remember I bought it at Future Shop, which, they don't exist anymore, and then I had Harvey's that same night. It was during, summer of 2014. I tell you, that was the fucking tits when Mario Kart 8 first came out. I just wish I played it a lot more back then with friends and whatnot. But yeah, and of course, just the courses that Mario Kart 8 had, like Electrodrome. What was it? Electrodrome? Yeah, it was cool. Mount Wario's great. Mario Kart Stadium, just so much great stuff. Mario Kart 8 is definitely the best in the series, and hey, I guess it's nice to have an updated version, but really could have thrown a little more. And the fact that this is the first Mario game for the Switch is merely just an updated version of already one of the best Wii U games and probably one of the best Mario games, just kind of, it speaks some sort of gripes I have with the Switch.